There's another layer to the story we want to talk about. The use of Bitcoin, of course, to pay the Colonial Pipeline hackers, sending crypto prices plunging across the board today. But will this prompt real regulation for the industry? Let's bring in KRISTIN Smith. She's executive director of the Blockchain Association. KRISTIN, thank you for being here. You know, I understand that you don't think that the FBI's intervention in this by getting access to the password and being able to recover some of this or all of the ransom, at least from that account, will really wreck Bitcoin. Why not? Isn't that sort of part of what we're supposed to love about Bitcoin, how protective it is and how locked it is?
Well, just because they got a hold of the private key doesn't mean that Bitcoin is broken, nor other crypto networks are broken. There's a lot of ways that people can get a hold of private keys if they get onto computers and they were stored in a way that isn't secure. And so we don't know the precise circumstances around how they got it. But I think the important thing with this case, Colonial Pipeline, is that they worked with law enforcement very early and they were able to work together on a strategy going forward. And so I think as we learn more and more details, if we do learn more and more details, we will find that indeed Bitcoin is not broken. It is a very open, very transparent. You can go in and see the code. There's not a vulnerability there. It is strong and will continue to be strong.
KRISTIN, it's Karen. Let me ask you something. I mean, to me, this is somewhat of a sideshow of the Bitcoin story. And to the extent that that is about fiat currencies and a digital currency, it doesn't seem so relevant. What do you think are the central stories right now in Bitcoin, and what's sort of being weakened right now that it's trading lower?
Well, listen, prices move for a lot of different reasons, right? You know, there was a lot of euphoria around Bitcoin last week. I was down in Miami at the Bitcoin conference, and maybe this is, you know, the fact that that's over, prices have collapsed a little bit. It could be misunderstanding. There are a lot of new investors in this space, but, you know, Bitcoin is incredibly strong. There are only 21, or there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. We only have about 18 million in circulation today, but the rest will be mined in the future. And that makes it a scarce digital asset that will have value to those who value a scarce place to store their, you know, to store value. So I think that what we really need to be looking at with cryptocurrency networks is what is the underlying function of that network? And there's so much innovation happening right now with decentralized finance, with Web 3.0 applications that really do provide a new type of critical infrastructure, to use that phrase, that is less vulnerable. So we saw earlier today, the internet went out for a little bit because AWS around. There's an alternative to that. It's called Filecoin. That is a decentralized network that wouldn't go down. So I think as investors become more sophisticated, as users start to integrate cryptocurrency-based products into their life, we will see these less volatile swings on the news.
Hey, KRISTIN, it's Tim. Thanks for joining us. The term sideshow has been used, I think, by Karen. So how about the sideshow of Elon Musk or the sideshow of other CEOs that have gone out of their way to talk about where they're using Bitcoin, where it's lit a fire under things? Do you think on some level that's actually detracting from, first of all, use cases you just talked about, networks that are, you know, not at all necessarily Bitcoin reliant? And you know, but the overall story here, which has gotten more attention probably from a handful of individuals who may not at all be a part of this.
Yeah, no, I think that it's unfortunate that we've seen such a reaction to statements by Elon Musk. I mean, I think a lot of that is driven a little bit by a misunderstanding. I mean, it's definitely something that I think is around, at least for the foreseeable future. So if you are a consumer and you're thinking about purchasing Bitcoin, you know, you very much need to be aware that there are reactions to things like that, and that's something you need to watch out for. And so, you know, you shouldn't be putting your assets into this space if you can't stomach some of the swings that the markets are undergoing these days.
That's pretty good advice for anyone wanting to play in the crypto space. KRISTIN Smith, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. Let's go ahead and trade this. Guy, what do you think about Bitcoin? Down 50% from the all-time high. So does this give you an opportunity to get in, or is there just more risk to come from a tweet from Elon Musk or anything else that makes this cryptocurrency go wild?
Certainly would appear there's more risk to come. I mean, listen, if you think, like many people do, that this is an asset that's going to $500,000 a coin or so, the difference between 30,000 and 20,000 is negligible. If you think this is something to trade, the next case back to 50,000, and obviously from 30 to 20 is significant. Carter Worth has said a number of times his work suggests it's going to trade down to 20,000 or so, which makes sense for a myriad of different reasons. A lot of people are lining up that way. So I do think there's still risk to come. I'm surprised it hasn't manifested itself in terms of volatility in the equity markets. I think it's just a matter of time before a further fall in crypto is going to start to have a negative impact on equities.
That is a good point. Market's relatively flat today. But let's take a look at Fastly over the last 24 hours. Karen brought it up earlier. Shares of the cloud company dropping after a system failure caused outages at a broad array of websites. But the stock ended the day up more than 10%. It doesn't appear to be a hack, but it also highlights another vulnerability in our tech infrastructure. So, Dan, why in the heck were shares up today?
No one left to sell. I mean, the stock's down at the lows today, down 65% from its all-time highs made about 6 months ago. This was a high flyer. It was a pandemic winner. They saw massive pull forward and some demand for their products. And, again, single point of failure here. A lot of websites went down. A lot of companies, there's a lot of customer concentration here. So you have a situation where there's 22% short interest. You got some bad news. People can't really quantify it. I mean, this is not something that you can say, oh, this is their fault or this is X percent of their business. And, you just run out of sellers and get a good old-fashioned short squeeze right there, Tim. Maybe some naked shorts in there. I don't know.
Tim, you want to jump in?
Just to have a case where there's been a whirlwind around the stock. I think there's more volatility to come. I'm not sure that the selling pressure is over, but I agree with Dan. At some point, you see exhaustion.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.